Right, good evening everyone and welcome to Stanley Town Council Finance and General Purposes Committee meeting. This meeting is taking place on Tuesday the 20th of September 2022 at 6:30 p.m. at the Stanley Civic Hall and is live streamed to YouTube. It will be available for a minimum of 6 months, so please be aware footage from meetings could be used in media broadcasts. I'm Gordon Binney, Chair of the Finance and General Purpose Committee, and would like to extend a warm welcome to members, officers, members of the public and media who are watching this live stream. Before we start tonight's meeting, I would like to take a minute to remember our late Queen Elizabeth II. Like most of the population, she was the only monarch that we have known. There have been many tributes made to her over the last few days, but one phrase made in the proclamation of accession of His Majesty the King Charles III has stayed with me. It describes the late Queen as the late Sovereign Lady Queen Elizabeth II of blessed and glorious memory. She was not born to the role, but due to events in the early death of her father, she became Queen 70 years ago and pledged to serve her subjects, which she clearly did through hard work, resolve, dedication, humour and humility. And the events of the last 12 years have demonstrated the warmth and affection with which she is held by all parts of the UK and around the world. We thank her for her service and may she rest in peace. The late Sovereign Lady Queen Elizabeth II of blessed and glorious memory. I would like to ask people to stand for a minute's silence. Thank you.
God save the King.
God save the King. Okay, we'll start with the proceedings of the meeting. First of all, item 1, apologies for absence. Do we have any absence?
Chair, we've received apologies from Councillor Lee Ferry and Councillor John Nicholson.
Can I put apologies there for Councillor John McMahon as well, please?
Okay. Item 2, declarations of interest. Do any members have any interests to declare on tonight's agenda? No. Move on to item 3. Any announcements from the chair? You'd be pleased to hear no announcements. Or the town clerk.
Chair, I have one comment to make. Following our conversation this morning with your agreement, I have placed an urgent item in the Part B of the meeting, which is of a sensitive nature, hence the reason why it will be in Part B.
Okay, thanks for that. Public participation, do we have any? Please, no members of the public present. Do we have any letters or questions?
We've only got one question, which will go to full council.
Okay. Right, move on to item 5, which is confirmation of the minutes. The members are asked to approve as a correct record of the minutes of the Finance and General Purpose Committee meeting held on the 12th of July.
Well, I propose to accept the minutes.
Okay, everyone happy to accept minutes? Moving on to item 6, which is accounts for payment and bank reconciliation. The members are asked to consider the information for June, July and August 22 consider the attached information and approve the payment of accounts for June, July and August, and also note the bank reconciliation for June, July and August. Councillor Hanson?
Chair, can I propose that we take them all as one item and you accept them, please?
I'll second
Is everyone okay with that? Move on to item 7, which is the annual governance and accountability report. The committee asked us to note the report return for 21-22. Is anyone any comments or questions on the report? So we're happy to note it? Yeah. Moving on to item 8, the quarterly budget monitoring report. Committee is requested to note the report. Is anyone any issues with the report? Are they happy to note the report?
No report.
Yeah.
Move on to item 9, to receive a verbal update from the town clerk in respect to the building working group.
So, Chair, for those people, there are a number of people who sit around the table who do actually attend the building working group. It currently meets on a fortnightly basis. However, if there hasn't been any progression, they don't hold a meeting. Following the last meeting we held, I emailed on the guidance of the councillors around the table. I emailed Durham County Council, asked a number of questions that we need the responses to help feed into the next stages, to be able to bring the issues around the building to full council. Unfortunately, this has been chased twice, and as yet we still haven't received a response. I contacted those town councillors who also sit as county councillors and asked for their support in pushing really Durham County Council into providing us with a response. A number of councillors have done this, however, as of today's date, I'm yet to receive a response. So we are doing, the officers and myself are doing works behind the scenes in relation to costings for repairs within the building. We've had a number of contractors out to give us quotes around repairs. So that is still happening, but those fundamental questions that were asked are still yet to be responded to. It is worthy of note as well that obviously our heating system does heat the one point which is behind us, which is the building behind us. They have asked for their heating to be put on. So it's probably just as well we do have that one boiler working because their building is cold. So as soon as I do receive an update, I will let you know. However, all I can keep doing is chasing and chasing and chasing. But I do believe we'll need to push for a further meeting with Durham County Council and the Cabinet member.
So any members anything to?
I want no response about the ventilation in the boiler room yet.
No, nothing. Nothing, unfortunately.
When tell them go, they can't have the heating under one point. It's as simple as that.
As much as I'm sure I would like to, I can't.
You know, if they want the heat on,
Councillor Lockmore?
Just as someone who does wear both hats, I find it quite disappointing that the county haven't been forthcoming with the information that we've asked for. And as I said to you before, I do think we need to push for another meeting, and that's certainly something that I'm going to be doing. And I hope that the other county councillors who are also on the town council will help me do that, because we can't continue to have this where we try to proceed forward and are constantly stonewalled by the county.
Is anyone start? Yes, Councillor Clark?
Just similar to what Councillor McMahon is saying. I don't know what it is with Durham County Council and Stanley Town Council historically, because the questions that have been asked about this building over the last 10 years that I know of, and for whatever reason cannot get answers to, I seriously don't understand. You know, it's their building, all we're trying to do is look after it, get it to the best of its, so that it can be used in the community, which I would be devastated if we were to lose. I just don't understand why they won't engage with us, why, and joking aside, I know it's something that you can't do, but what would they do if we did refuse to put the heating on? You know, I know it's not a funny matter, and I know, you know, that they've obviously got staff in there and it's cold, but what, you know, we've got it on because they need it on. How does that affect us? If we don't need it on, are we paying for heating that at this particular point in time we don't actually need?
We are able to split our supply so that they can have their heating on, and ours hasn't gone on yet. Because I suppose we've been a bit lucky because the weather has been quite mild. But this morning, I wasn't first in this morning, but I understand it was quite cool this morning when the team came in this morning.
Well, I mean, we are
So
getting into
it's
that
starting
time
to
of
come
year.
into autumnal.
But seriously, is there any negotiation with that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just tell them that they get thinking of boiler number 5. And I haven't got boiler 5 up them yet.
Yeah. The I think what does worry me is that we can only run one boiler at a time, because of the lack of free flowing air down there, which means that boiler does have to work overtime.
Yeah.
And to be quite honest, we do have quite a healthy diary going into December, up until the end of the year. You know, if the heating goes off again, how do we cope?
Yeah. And I would like, obviously, again, as Sam has said, for any county councillor, irrespective, to push however they possibly can, because we do need this. You know, we as a council ourselves, we need to get this sorted and get underway just exactly how we are going to progress.
I have had a very positive response from the county councillors, so fingers crossed, hopefully that will.
It's just a question. Who are we, is it, who are we dealing with at the county? Is it, what you call them,
We're dealing with Susan Robinson. Susan Robinson?
Oh, right. Oh,
Yeah.
so it's, yes, I know which
Yes.
section. What I was aiming for was which section we were dealing with, because I mean it's so layered and things get passed around down there. But I now know which one we're land and property.
So if I could just, I can sort of give you an example of where it falls down. We have a room that smells foul. So we've had the floorboards up, we've had the flooring's all been taken up. There is a problem with stagnant water underneath and the soil pipe sitting on 3 bricks, which clearly isn't right. So we logged a call and asked for somebody to come out to see where this foul smell is coming from. Unfortunately, they sent out a quantity surveyor to price us for the job, when actually we don't know what's wrong with it, which is why we asked for somebody to come out in the first place to see if they could find out what was wrong with it before we could have the job priced. So I appreciate, you know, local government are under a lot of strain. However, this is really important. It's important to the people of Stanley, it's important to the town council, it's important to me. You know, we need to look after this building. But if we're not getting anything back from Durham County Council, other than pushing and county councillors pushing, unless I just produce myself at the front desk, I'm not sure, you know, I'll just keep pushing and pushing and hope our heating lasts us another winter.
So you've actually requested another meeting?
I haven't requested another meeting as yet,
I think that's what we need to do, isn't
but
it?
I have a number of the county councillors have emailed and have interjected
Mhm.
and supported the email that I've sent.
Councillor?
I'm of a similar opinion. It shouldn't have to be this way, but it feels like we're going to have to ask for another meeting with James Rawlinson as the cabinet member, because that was the only way we got them to sit down with us last time, and unfortunately that seems to be the way it's going to be again.
I understand he has been spoken to today.
Right.
I don't know the outcome of that conversation, but I understand it has been raised with him today.
Okay. But if you can confirm what the feedback is, if not, we can ratchet it up. I suppose we can
Yeah.
draft a letter, signed all by all the councillors,
Yeah.
and submit that.
The chief exec.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, has anybody else got any issues that they'd like comments to make? Okay, then we'll move on to the next item, which is the date and time of the venue for the next meeting, which is Tuesday the 11th of October, 6:30 p.m, Stanley Civic Hall. Could I ask you to remove the press and public? Sorry? Okay. You have to move that. Can someone move to